There's someone watching this right now, and deep down, you know God has already told you to let go of that person, but you're still holding on. I get it. Letting go doesn't come easy when you've given so much of yourself, your heart, your time, your memories. It feels like walking away means you're betraying everything you built. But here's the truth. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. Some people were only meant to be a chapter, not your entire story. And as long as you keep rereading that chapter, you'll never discover what God has written for your next one. Sometimes obedience to God requires you to leave behind what's familiar, even when it hurts, even when your heart is still bleeding. You tried so hard to grow with them. You saw their potential. You believed in the good inside them. But hear me, God never called you to fix them. He only called you to follow Him. So ask yourself, how long will you keep shrinking just to make someone else feel secure? How long will you ignore your unease just to avoid confrontation? How long will you delay your healing just because you're afraid of being alone? The Bible says in Amos 3:3, "Can two walk together unless they are agreed?" You can't walk into your calling when the person beside you is pulling in the opposite direction. And no matter how much you pray, you can't override their free will. Even Jesus didn't beg Judas to stay. He loved him, served him, washed his feet. But then, He let him go. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you love yourself enough not to stay in what keeps breaking you. It means you trust God's voice more than your desire to be loved by someone who doesn't know how to love you well. But what if they change? Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. But your healing shouldn't be put on hold waiting for someone else's transformation. You've got to move forward. You've got to grow. You've got to let God do His part while you protect your heart. God is doing something new. But do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:18-19 says, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing." But you won't see the new if your mind is stuck in what God has already closed. You might still love them. They might be your closest friend, someone you imagined a future with. Maybe even family, someone you feel like you can't walk away from. But boundaries are biblical. Jesus loved everyone, but He didn't confide in everyone. Only Peter, James, and John were invited into His most sacred moments. Just because someone was part of your history doesn't mean they're entitled to your destiny. Think of Abraham. God called him to go to a new place, but He brought Lot along. And what happened? Conflict, confusion, strife. It wasn't until Abraham and Lot parted ways that God spoke again. Maybe you haven't heard from God lately, because you're still holding on to what He already told you to release. This isn't about bitterness. It's not about pride. It's about obedience. And obedience always unlocks blessing. The future God has for you is too big to take small-hearted people into it. Some people only want the old version of you, the one who tolerated less, who didn't know her worth. But you're not her anymore. God is doing something new in you. Letting go doesn't make you weak. It means you've finally healed enough to stop craving what once crushed you. So now, it's time. Time to walk away from what's comfortable, but killing you. Time to step into the future God's been preparing all along. Time to let go, not because you stopped loving, but because you finally started listening. And on the other side of your obedience is freedom, is healing, is peace, is the purpose you were born for.